Hello everyone, here are 7 things you will absolutely want to know when playing on Astraeos. First up, let's start with some of the new additions. An aberrant cave was added in the most recent update, and there are 2 entrances to the aberrant zone. The first location can be found here at this specific point, and here are the coordinates. And the second location can be found on the opposite side of the mountain at these coordinates here. This aberrant zone is just the fertile zone or the green zone, so don't go expecting rock drakes or reapers, but there are green gems and gas veins, as well as some aberrant creatures like the Carcanos and the Cosmo. Though I have yet to find a Cosmo, I have just found nearly 30 or 40 Paraceratheriums. Just take that into consideration. Alright, now next up, let's discuss the Maelstrom. In this new location, you're going to find 2 very important things. So for this tip, we're going to be talking about the coral-like rocks. When broken, they will drop cementing paste and stone. Now, based on my testing with a Dodic, a pickaxe, a hatchet, a chainsaw, and an Anki, the Anki will get the best results. With a 150 unleveled Anki, I was getting around 30 cementing paste per node, and as you can see, there are dozens of nodes here, so you could very easily get around 1000 paste just by farming every single node in this area. Alright, now for tip 3, we're also going to be discussing something else you will find in this Maelstrom, and that is the Megalanias outside of a cave, which gives you a great opportunity to get Megalania Toxin, which is needed as a tribute for a boss fight on this map. But do not kill them. In fact, just tame them. Once you knock them out, you can pull the Toxin out of their inventory. But if you get a breeding pair, then have them mate, and upon the baby hatching, you will notice every single baby Megalania will have Toxin in its inventory. And yes, this does work on every single Ark map, including maps like the island, where they are far more challenging to find. Meaning you will never have to worry about farming or hunting these guys down again. Go tame a couple of these guys and go put them in your base and you'll have Toxin forever. Alright, now for tip number 4, let's talk about a few resources. First up are oil nodes. There was a bunch of oil nodes added to the map with the most recent update, making getting oil even easier. Now the best spot that I have found so far for nodes is going to be this island here. I featured it in my best base locations video, and there are 6 nodes in total spread across this entire island, which if you can control them all, or you're a single player, you will have endless supplies of oil. Now there are other nodes on the map, but based upon everything I could find so far, this is going to be the very best location. Now the next resource is going to be clay, which was added to the sand piles around the map. This new location on the new island seems to be the very best location. You'll find a shack with some muddy water, and just a plethora of clay and sand. And your best friend for carrying the clay and the sand is going to be the Equus, as it reduces the weight of it by 80%. So just make sure you carry over an Equus with an RG, a Rhino, or Wyvern, and they can help you transport this resource. Alright, now let's talk about another resource, which is honey, which so far has primarily been found in the honey cave on the far west side of the map in the cherry blossom biome. When farming these hives, there are 3 primary ways you can look to farm the hives. If you just want honey, then use an Anki, as they will get the best results. But if you want organic polymer from the hives, then use a Dodic and it will get at least 100 up to 200 from each hive. But if you want a nice in-between, then use a chainsaw and you'll get loads of organic polymer, decent amounts of honey, and even the occasional rare mushroom. Now if you are looking for honey in other parts of the map, get yourself a snow owl, as using their infrared vision will allow you to spot hives very easily that are typically hidden in the trees. These hives will only be visible if they do have a giant queen bee inside, but the snow owl will make finding them 100% easier. You will never look for hives the same again. Now when it comes to storing the honey, the very best way to do that is simply just place one individual piece of honey on every single fishing pole and it will last indefinitely. Alright, now let's talk loot. I don't think there is a better map in Ark Survival Ascended to farm high quality gear. The drops on Astraeos have decent gear, and there's even a rare drop that grants very powerful loot. Now being a map that has OSDs, it already has very good gear and loot, but on top of that, this map has turned alpha creatures into what is now called astral creatures. It's the exact same concept, but now instead of being red, they're blue, and they come in many additional forms. You still have these standard creatures like the Raptor, Rex, Carnos, Mosos, and Tusos, but now there's also astral Argies, astral Dinosuchus, astral Direwolves, and astral Mammoths. So make sure to keep an eye out for them, and whenever you feel you have the capability to take them out, make sure you invest in doing so, because they will give you extremely good loot. Now to give you perspective of what exactly you can all get, we're just going to randomly kill 3 astral creatures that we find and see what we get. Now this here is the first creature, so let's just take them out and see what we get. Alright, and now here is going to be the second creature, and we'll just take them out real quick and grab their stuff. And lastly here is going to be the third creature. Now looking at our inventory, as you can see, these things are just overpowered. So if you want some good gear, go find yourself an astral creature and do whatever you can to take them out. Alright, now lastly, let's talk about some key points of interest that we have not already covered. We've already covered the honey cave, and we have already covered the oil nodes. So we're not going to be discussing anything we've already mentioned in the video. So next up though, we're going to be talking about the Wyvern Trench, which can be located here in the northern part of the map, which is very important for stealing your first Wyvern eggs, and you'll make return visits here as well, because actually it's the best place to farm sulfur on the entire map is the bottom portion of this Wyvern Trench. Now you can access it through the front, and you will have to fight your way through Wyverns, or you could take the ocean tunnel, which is going to be much quicker and simpler. But there are still Wyverns in here, inside the cave, and basically every single mode but single player, for whatever reason, these spawns are just bugged. But if you're playing on any form of official server, there will be Wyverns inside this cave, so you will have to proceed with caution. Now next up are the two current obelisks that are in the game for basically just uploading your creatures or transferring them off if you're not playing on some form of official server and can just do so with drops. The first one has remained in the exact same place in the middle of Corinthos, and here are the coordinates. And the second one is just added with the new update, and it's going to be on the new island, which is also located in the middle of the mountains that are shown in the top right corner of your map. And if at any point in time there's ever any question as to where these things are, just look in the sky. They're literally giant floating statues. You can't miss them. They can be seen from basically anywhere on the map. So if you don't know where to go, just teleport to that island in some capacity and you will get there eventually. Now another new location that we're going to be talking about is the site of the new mini bosses, which is located in between the two mountainous areas on the map on the new island. It's basically as close as you can get to the world border on this new island. And once you do find it, just know there's a giant tree that will actually mark the location, making it easier to identify where this battleground is going to be. Alright, now let's talk about a great starting location, and that's going to be the camp here on the southern part of the Corinthos island. You will find small storage boxes in these camps when you first start that you can break open for tools, such as a metal hatchet, a metal pick, or crossbows, basically giving the ability to skip needing to rush a smithy right away, and gives you a bit more flexibility to explore and even get to taming. Now next up is the farm. There's a spot where you can find a bunch of crops that are already grown, and you can easily harvest them to help tame herbivores with better efficiency than what you would with berries. Here's where you could find this location. Now lastly is the Ovis and the Equus Island. You will find this island to be peaceful and fairly easy to tame Ovis and Equus. Just watch out for the Ovis protectors. They will not take kindly to you trespassing. And finally, now that you've got all these tips, you're going to want to know where the best place to set up your base is. And to find that out, make sure you check out this video here.